Welcome to Layer the Alchemist, where we discuss all things heavy metal and hard rock. On today's episode, my 5 favorite Ozzy ballads. I think I've mentioned it on this channel. If I haven't, I know I've talked about it in the Black Sabbath podcast that I do with my friend Darren. I'm going to plug it here, Into the Void, a Black Sabbath podcast. If you haven't heard it, please check it out. I've mentioned before that I love Ozzy ballads. I love when Ozzy sings ballads. I think his voice lends itself to that sound, his sort of mournful, that sort of whiny quality to Ozzy's voice. I think it just suits a ballad really, really well. And some of my favorite Ozzy songs are ballads, so I thought it would be fun to pick my top 5. And this is actually pretty hard to do because, again, I like a lot of his ballads. I do not have a vinyl for all of these. Oh, and I should also mention that it's Black Sabbath. I'm also going to include his time in Black Sabbath here. So I don't have vinyl for all of these. So for my first pick, I picked from the Osmosis album the song Old LA Tonight, the final song on the record. And I know this is sort of a divisive album for some fans. I actually really like the album. I like things, I've said this before, that are really well produced, maybe overproduced a bit, and this album kind of has that, but I think it works really, really well in this song. I like the piano. I like Ozzy's melody line. The chorus in this just sort of explodes out. Those summer nights, the way Ozzy jumps up in his range there, I think it's just great. And Zakk Wylde is probably my favorite Zakk Wylde guitar solo is in this song. I think it just builds up like really beautifully, and he's got these long held out notes, like screaming feedback type sound. Just great. So I love this song. Fantastic chorus. Number 4, from the legendary Blizzard of Oz album. We just did an episode on this on in the Black Sabbath podcast. Me and Darren, one of my top albums of all time. And the song, of course, is "Goodbye to Romance." The lyrics in this are great. It's sort of Ozzy saying goodbye to his past. I love the line, like, I guess that we'll meet in the end. I've been the king, I've been the clown. You know, just the lyrics are great. Ozzy's melody is great. I like the way he double tracks his voice. It's sort of a signature Ozzy thing. Sounds really great in this song. There's a nice harmony in the chorus. Randy Rhoads, one of my favorite guitar players of all time. His guitar solo in this is just so melodic. It's so beautiful. It's so well done. The keyboard part at the end of the song is great. That bum 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 sounds like something that should have been played on a horn, maybe. So catchy, so melodic, so memorable. Love it. All right, number 3. This one's kind of surprising that it's this high up on the list. It's from Ozzy's most recent album, Ordinary Man, the title track. I actually don't even own this album because I really think the production on this album is absolutely horrendous. But on this song, it's okay. They must have known that this was going to be the big single from this. And Ozzy singing with Elton John makes total sense to me. They're both two massive legends. I know there's a duet with he sings with Post Malone on another song on here, which to me just seems like why, Ozzy at this point in his career, he's as big, if not bigger, than Elton John. He should be singing with people like Elton John, Paul McCartney. I mean, that's where Ozzy's at this point in his career. He's a legend. He's exceeded beyond outside of the world of hard rock and heavy metal. He's just this, he's gone way even beyond that. And I think it's a very well written song. I love the lyrics in it. The video for it too, I absolutely love. It really, when I saw that video for the first time and heard the song, I gotta admit I got choked up because it really feels like Ozzy kind of, and he's done this before in other songs, this kind of like looking back at his career. He did this in The Road to Nowhere. That song almost made my list. But this, for some reason, the way that video is done with him looking back on his past, and it really made me think, like, man, we've lost so many legends in the last so many years that it is going to be heartbreaking when Ozzy passes. And hopefully it isn't. Hopefully Ozzy lives forever because he is just a legend. He's such a special place in music for me, my musical journey. And this song just made me really, I don't know, it just tugged at my heartstrings. The lyrics in it, there's the part when Elton comes in, and when you watch the video, the line, I don't want to say goodbye, but when I do, you'll be all right, or something like that. And it shows a picture of Ozzy and Randy, and man, just the whole sentiment of the whole thing. I've been the bad guy, been higher than the blue skies. This just sort of Ozzy's life. I've always said the charm of Ozzy is that he is kind of this. He says the lyric is, "I don't want to die an ordinary man," and he certainly isn't an ordinary man. But that's part of his charm, is that he just seems like a guy that he's just an ordinary bloke. That if you were in a bar or something, you'd want to have a beer with this guy. So for me, a great song on maybe a very flawed album, but I love it, and I love the video. All right, number 2. I said I was going to go into some Black Sabbath. So from Technical Ecstasy, She's Gone. This is just a great song. The strings in this, the picked acoustic guitar, and Ozzy's vocal is just so dramatic and so emotional. It just seems like he's just pouring out all this emotion. I wanted you to be my wife. Now you're gone. It's so sad. And the way the strings are in this, it is just like, wow, it is a really intense, emotional song. And Ozzy's delivery on it is just fantastic. One of his great vocal deliveries, and Ozzy sometimes gets pigeonholed, especially when people think of Black Sabbath, think of Iron Man and stuff like that. But the fact that Ozzy could do a song like this, and just the way he expresses himself and the lyrics in it, I think are just fantastic. And the mood of the whole song is just so dramatic. It's almost like mournful and creepy almost in some ways. It's just great. All right, number 1 from Diary of a Madman, the song Tonight. Love the lyrics, love the melody line, the chorus, and this is just great. That spot in the song when it goes into the, "As I beat my head against the wall." I love that melody there, the little like key change sort of. Randy's guitar solo, and this is just so fantastic, man. That outro guitar solo, it sends a shiver up my spine. Bob Daisley, one of my favorite bass players, that little bass line that he has, it's just such a beautiful song. It's so dramatic. It's so, like, the way it lifts and builds and everything, and the way this song goes out, it's just like has this epic ballad quality to it that I just absolutely love. The outro solo, you always want to just keep cranking and listening till it goes out at the very end there. It's there's not a note or a lyric or a melody that is out of place in that song. A fantastic, beautifully written, amazing ballad. All right, so there you go. There's my 5 favorite Ozzy ballads. 5 favorite Ozzy ballads. Let me know some of your favorite Ozzy ballads if you want to give me your 5. I left off a lot of biggies on here. Mama, I'm Coming Home is amazing. I've always liked So Tired. The Road to Nowhere. Again, Ozzy has a lot of I could have even gone with the Lita Ford. Close My Eyes Forever, to duet he did with Lita Ford. So, all right, let me know down in the comments down below some of your favorites. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. And until we see you again, make sure you stay heavy, stay metal.